Hello friends, welcome once again to this channel for a new video. So in this video tutorial we will learn in detail about the mechanism of the breathing. So how the breathing occurs, what are the different muscles and how they help in the process of breathing. So in my previous class we have discussed about the human respiratory system in detail. So now we will go for how the lung work and how they help in getting the air from the atmosphere and giving out the used air to the atmosphere. So let's discuss about the mechanism of breathing. So what is the mechanism of breathing? Mechanism of breathing we will discuss in detail in this video tutorial. So if we will go to the mechanism of breathing, the breathing is divided into two important parts, and what are they? The inhalation or inspiration, inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so these are the two important parts, inhalation and exhalation, or inspiration and expiration. It is also called inspiration and expiration. Okay, so these are the two important parts of, or the two important stages of the mechanism of breathing. Behind breathing, to complete breathing, we need first stage is inhalation or inspiration of the fresh air from the atmosphere through the external nostril to the internal nares, and finally through the nasopharynx it will go to the pharynx, then larynx, then trachea, then through the trachea to the bronchi, then bronchioles, different types of bronchioles, and finally it reaches the air sacs, the spherical alveoli. So this is inhalation, and after the exchange of gases at the alveoli, it gives the oxygen to the blood and takes carbon dioxide from the blood, and then again in the reverse direction of inspiration or inhalation, the used air having more amount of carbon dioxide comes out to the atmosphere, which is called exhalation or expiration, which is the second stage of the breathing. Okay, so these are the two stages. First we will discuss about the inspiration or inhalation. So what is inspiration and inhalation? It is, remember, it is an active process. It is an active process, it is not passive. Because why we are talking it is active? Because the other stage, that is the exhalation or the expiration, was a passive process. Here it is active. So fresh atmospheric air, fresh atmospheric air containing oxygen, because we are talking about oxygen only because our body needs it, the oxygen. Okay, so the fresh air contains oxygen, and it enters into lungs. Containing oxygen enters lungs, the most important organ responsible for respiration in our body. Okay, so it enters the lungs. So during this, what are the different activities occur? So during inspiration or inhalation of fresh air from the atmosphere, what are the different events occur? What are the changes occur in the two lungs and the accessory muscles who regulates this process of breathing? So as we talk about the diaphragm, it is present below the lungs and it separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. It is the most important muscle that plays important role during the breathing. So that is why diaphragm has very important function. We will discuss about the role of diaphragm here. So let's go in detail. What will happen when we take the fresh air containing oxygen to the lungs? So we are talking about the inhalation. So it will continue. So the diagram should be here. I will show you the diaphragm here. This is the structure of the diaphragm. So this is the diaphragm that separates the thoracic and abdominal cavity. So during inhalation, what happens? During intake of air from the atmosphere, what will happen? Normally, the alveoli will get air, fresh air, and it will have plenty of air in it, so that the lungs become wider. It will get oxygen and it swells off. So the diaphragm is present below it, so the diaphragm starts to contract. The diaphragm will move downward, means it is dome shaped here. This is the shape of the diaphragm, dome shaped. Dome shaped diaphragm becomes flat as it comes down, and it becomes contract. So it becomes contract as the lung need more space, as it is filled with air now. The diaphragm comes downward, that is why it gets contract. Likewise, look at this here. If it is the diaphragm, the lower part is the abdomen, upper part is the thorax. The thorax, the abdomen, it separates them, so it is dome shaped. When the lung filled with fresh air, it become wider and occupy larger space, so that the diaphragm becomes contract and goes downward, and during exhalation it will relax and go upward, becoming dome shaped again. So it will come downward, and along with that it will contract, providing the thoracic cavity or the thoracic cage a greater space. So it will contract as it comes downward, providing the thoracic cavity or the thoracic cage where the lungs are present. It will provide that thoracic cage a larger area, so that the lungs can easily occupy, the lungs can receive oxygen. So the diaphragm, due to its contraction of its radial muscle, increases length of thoracic cavity. The diaphragm helps in increases length of thoracic cavity. So thoracic cavity means the cavity where the lungs are placed. So the thoracic cavity is now having a larger length, because the diaphragm, which is present below the lungs, now contracts, providing a larger length to the thoracic cavity. At the same time, external intercostal muscles. There are intercostal muscles. So the intercostal muscles are present in between the adjacent ribs. We have rib bones here that runs from the sternum to the vertebral column. So laterally, the thoracic cage is provided with a safe skeleton, that is the ribs, and here the ribs, in between the ribs, the intercostal muscles are there, and these intercostal muscles are divided into two different types. One is the internal intercostal muscle, internal, and another is external. These intercostal muscles present perpendicular to one another. The angle between these muscles is about 90 degrees. So intercostal muscles have also important role. While inhaling air from the atmosphere, the thoracic cavity goes upward, so that the intercostal muscle relax. Okay, so they at the same time the external intercostal muscle contracts, and the internal relax. So there is a coordination between these intercostal muscle. So ribs move upward and forward. It will help to move the ribs upward and forward. So as the rib moves upward and forward, it will move upward and forward. That is how it helps in providing the thoracic cavity a greater space during inhalation of air. This increases the volume and lowers pressure in the thoracic cavity. So as the thoracic cavity is provided with a greater volume, that is why the pressure inside the thoracic cavity is reduced. Okay, as we taking air into the thoracic cavity, into the lungs present in the thoracic cavity, the pressure inside the thoracic cavity will increase. But when the volume of the cavity increases, the pressure automatically reduces. Okay, so pressure of thoracic cavity reduced due to increase in its volume. So lungs expand and draws air into them. When the lungs expand, automatically the atmospheric air is drawn into the lungs. As the lungs are expand, it provides a less pressure as compared to the atmospheric pressure. So automatically from the higher pressure, it will enter the lungs where the pressure is less. Okay, so this increase in volume lowers pressure of thoracic cavity, then the lung expand and draws air into them till air pressure inside and outside become equal. So as I have told you, the atmospheric pressure is less and the atmospheric pressure is high and the lung pressure is less. That is why the atmospheric air enters to the lungs till the pressure in the lung and atmosphere is not equal. It will continue to flow to the lungs till the atmospheric pressure and lung pressure will not be equal. When the pressure in the atmosphere and lung is equal, then only the flow of air into the lungs will stop. Okay, so till the pressure is not same inside the lungs and in the atmosphere, the inhalation or inspiration will continue. During normal and quick breathing, diaphragm plays 75% of role. So this diaphragm, the most important muscle, plays important role, and by what percent? By 75%. So diaphragm has 75% role during normal breathing. It helps in increasing the length of the thoracic cavity by its contraction. So 75% role is played by the diaphragm. The remaining 25% role was played by the intercostal muscles by expanding the ribs. Okay, so they raise the sternum, the intercostal muscle raise the sternum, the breastbone, and automatically the ribs will come upward and forward, by which the volume of the thoracic cavity will increase. So during normal breathing, the diaphragm plays 75% of role and the intercostal muscles plays 25% of role. Okay, so this is the basic of the inhalation. During inhalation, what are the events occurring here? During inhalation, the atmospheric pressure is high, the lung pressure is low, so that from higher pressure to lower pressure, the air continues to flow, and that is known as inhalation or inspiration. Here the diaphragm and intercostal muscles plays important role in increasing the volume of the thoracic cavity so that the pressure inside become less. Okay, so this is all about the inspiration. Now move on to the expiration or exhalation. So what will happen during the inspiration of air, sorry, exhalation of air or the removal of used air during expiration or exhalation, we can also write. Breathing out is a passive process, as we have discussed that the inspiration is an active process, this is a passive process. This results as a result of inspiration. When we are taking air in, it will automatically comes out through a process which is passive to inspiration, that is the expiration or exhalation. It involves relaxation of muscles of diaphragm. Okay, so the relaxation means here during inspiration we need a larger thoracic cavity. During exhalation the thoracic cavity becomes smaller again, so that the diaphragm which contracts during inspiration now again relax and become dome shaped. It again relax and become dome shaped. It returns to its original position. Who? The diaphragm. So now during inspiration it become contract and comes downward, whereas during exhalation it again become relaxed and the shape becomes dome shaped. It will come back to its original position during exhalation or expiration. Okay, and becomes dome shaped or normal again. External intercostal muscle also relax. Here the external intercostal muscle relax. Okay, then decrease in the volume of thoracic cavity automatically, as all the muscles now, the intercostal muscle relaxed and the diaphragm goes upward, so that as a result the thoracic cavity is now having a less volume, so the volume decreases. Okay, so as a result of the upward movement of the diaphragm and the external intercostal muscle relax, so the volume of the thoracic cavity now reduced, as the air from the thoracic cavity is now out to the atmosphere, which is the used air. Okay, so the thoracic cavity puts pressure upon the lungs. Now as the volume of the thoracic cavity decreased, so a pressure arises here on the lungs. So in the lung the pressure is now high, and in the atmosphere the pressure is now less. So from the higher pressure, that is from the lung, the air comes outside to the atmosphere where the pressure is less. Now why the pressure is high now in the lungs? Because the thoracic cavity, the volume of the thoracic cavity is reduced by the different activities of muscles. Okay, so the elastic wall of the lung shrink and possibly expel out the air through the respiratory tract, just reverse to that of the inspiration. During inspiration, as I have told you, the air enters through our nostril to the nasal cavity, then pharynx, then through the larynx it passes to the trachea, then bronchi, bronchioles, and finally reaches the alveoli. Likewise, during expiration, due to contraction of the thoracic cavity, the air pressure increased, so that the air from the alveoli passes through the alveolar duct, then bronchioles, then bronchi, then trachea, larynx, pharynx, nasal cavity, and comes out to the atmosphere through our nose. So this is the two processes two phases or two parts of the breathing, inspiration and expiration. Inspiration is active, taking air inside the lungs is active, giving out air to the atmosphere is passive. During expiration, air pressure in alveoli rises. Air pressure in the alveoli rises, in the lung rises, so that it will come out. Okay. So during forced or deep breathing, contraction of diaphragm is increased 4 to 5 times. So when we inhale forcefully, maximum inhalation, at that time the diaphragm comes downward, giving the thoracic cavity a larger length, and it will come downward up to 4 to 5 times than normal, and the chest volume increased. During forceful inspiration, we will increase the chest volume around 15 to 20%. Okay, as the diaphragm comes 4 to 5 times or 4 to 5 times more contracts, it gets more contracted due to forceful inspiration. As more air entered the lungs, the thoracic cavity now needs more space or the volume, so that it is provided by the diaphragm, and the diaphragm gets contracts 4 to 5 times more downward, so it comes more downward and become flat during forceful inspiration. And during that time, due to the contraction of the diaphragm, 15% to 20%, the length of the thoracic cavity become more or increased. Deep breathing is called thoracic breathing. Remember, deep breathing is called thoracic breathing. Deep breathing. Okay, thoracic breathing. Deep breathing, we can call it as thoracic breathing, and normal breathing, we will call that as abdominal breathing. So the normal breathing is called normal breathing, we call that abdominal breathing. Remember these two important terms, abdominal breathing and thoracic breathing. The deep breathing, when we inhale air forcefully and exhale air forcefully, at that time we will call that thoracic breathing, and the normal breathing is known as abdominal breathing. Okay, so now let's talk about the breathing rate of some animals, some commonly known animals, the breathing rate. Okay, so what is the breathing rate? In case of adult human, the breathing rate is 12 to 18 times per minute. It is in case of adult human. In case of adult human, the rate of breathing or the average rate of breathing is 12 to 18 times. Okay, likewise in case of newborn babies of human, the breathing rate is far more. It is around 3 to 4 times more in case of newborn babies of human, that is around 40 times. Around 40 times per minute they breathe. And if you will go for frogs, in case of frogs it is 80 times per minute, and in case of rabbits, it is 35 to 38 times per minute. So you need to remember this one is very important, 12 to 18 times in case of human, in newborn 40 times, which is much more than the adult human. Then frogs 80 times, rabbits 35 to 38 times. Okay, so this is the basic respiratory rates or breathing rates in different animals. Okay, so in this video tutorial we have learned about the most important thing here is the events during the inspiration and expiration, and here the lung volume and the atmospheric pressure, and because of the lung volume how the atmospheric pressure changes. This is very important. This plays important role to understand how the breathing occurs in different organisms. So this is the mechanism of breathing. Clear? Okay, so there is another thing we need to know. It is the respiratory volume. So what is respiratory volume? Respiratory volume. Respiratory volume, it itself says about, it itself defines it, respiratory volumes. So what is the volume of the respiratory air? The respiratory air. So how much amount of, what is the volume of air that we respire, that we take into our lung and give it out to the atmosphere. Okay, so in relation to various types of breathing volume of air taken into lungs, it is discussed, it is taken into account depending on the relation of different types of breathing, relation of types of breathing. There are different types of breathing. Depending on that, the volume of air taken into lungs, relation of types of breathing and volume of air taken into lungs. Okay, so respiratory volume means what is the amount of air we are taking into our lungs. We will discuss that in the respiratory volumes. So what are the respiratory volumes? Yes, here we will discuss about different types of volumes in different situations. So what are they? They are the TV, that is known as the tidal volume, TV or tidal volume, IRV, or inspiratory reserve volume, ERV, expiratory reserve volume. Okay, expiratory reserve volume. Likewise, the RV is the residual volume. Okay, the residual volume or RV. Likewise, others are also there. Likewise, we have the RV, and we have IC, the inspiratory capacity. It is the inspiratory capacity, IC. Likewise, we have also the EC or expiratory capacity. Okay, then the FRC, functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. Okay, and we have the vital capacity, the VC or vital capacity, and finally we have the TLC. It is the TLC, which means total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. Okay, so these are the different important volumes or respiratory volumes. VC, vital capacity, functional residual capacity, expiratory capacity, inspiratory capacity, tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume, and total lung capacity. So we will discuss in detail about these different types of respiratory volumes in my next video tutorial. So for today, just learn the short forms and the full forms of these different types of volumes which are related with the breathing. The forceful, when we forcefully take air, what is its volume? When we forcefully expire air, what is its volume? We will discuss in detail about this. What is the total lung capacity? How much how much amount of air? What is the volume of air that our lungs can carry? What is the maximum amount of air our lungs can carry? And what is the normal volume of air that we take in and take out? Everything in detail we will discuss, and I will also make it understand in a very easy way in the next video tutorial, so that you do not confuse between these different volumes, different respiratory volumes. So this is all for today. This is all about the mechanism of breathing and inspiration and expiration, how they are regulated by different muscles, and how the pressure plays important role, the air pressure plays important role in the process of breathing. So this is all about today. If you have any doubts, please comment below. Please hit the like button so that it will encourage me for making more videos for you. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.